What, 3 games down? 5 more to go here on stage 2 this afternoon. And having seen Martin Schindler overcome Ian White in a real cracker of a game. Just running through the stats there, Martin Schindler, 95.4 average. Might not blow your mind, but with 62.5% on doubles, that brilliant 116 checkout, holding off a man who was averaging more than 100 for most of that game. Very, very impressive. And we could have a clash between Shindy and the Iceman Gerwin Price in the second round here in Minehead. Here, though, we've got Mervyn King, the Players' Championship Finals runner-up last year, taking on the #1 from Lithuania, Darius Labanauskas. And as the seedings go, and as I will remind you numerous times, this is all based on how they've performed in the Players' Championship events over the course of the year. This is the closest matchup. It is seed number 32 versus seed number 33. Mervyn King is number 32, Darius is 33. And so over the course of the year, you can barely get a fag paper between these two in terms of the amount of money they have won on the circuit. The winner will go through to play either the lowest seeded player here, Devon Peterson, I'm ignoring Yella Clarkson for now, forget about that, or the #1 seed, Jose de Souza, who some people were suggesting he's not been that good this year, has he? Smashing records left, right and centre, and he's #1 seed on the Players' Championship Finals. Overlook Jose at your peril, even if it has been a mediocre month or two from the Portuguese.
He hasn't been that good.
I've heard that suggested. I've heard that
saying
suggested. Never you mind, Nicholson, never you mind. And not been said in this commentary box, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'd second that, Dan. But let's just touch on the fact that not everybody could make it here, because only 64 players in the field means that people have to miss out. And outside of the bubble, the likes of Adam Hunt, Mike De Decker, Mickey Mansell, Karel Sedlacek missed out as well. He played some decent stuff this year, but not enough. Gigi Mathers of Australia, he was in a spot pretty much all the way through the season, but lost out in the last couple of Super Series. And the likes of Keegan Brown,
yeah,
and Max Hopp.
Keegan Brown, I mean, Keegan Brown has played some great stuff at times this year. Flo Hempel missed out. Now, Flo Hempel didn't play a number of the tournaments because he wasn't able to start the year with lockdowns and everything. Had he done so, I think he probably cruises into this field. But it matters not. We're focused on the players that are here. And Mervyn King and Darius Labanauskas, 2 players who we know can perform on big stages. Labanauskas was a world #1 in the WDF system before moving over to the PDC. Not sure how high Merv got in the old BDO rankings. He must have been very, very high.
He had to be a world #1 at some point.
You'd think, wouldn't you? But I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell us.
There are some anomalies out there in sport. Think about golf. Phil Mickelson has never been world #1.
That does surprise me. Not that I care about golf. I care about Mervyn King looking at the big fish. He wasn't looking at it closely enough, was he?
82. Darius require 127.
This has got Darius's name written all over it. These are the kind of shots he takes out.
Does he take him out? 127 in game for the little Lithuanian.
Second leg move in the front first.
I promise you, I did not watch that on PDC TV -1. I just see a lot of Labanauskas in shots like that, where you just need the one treble and a pinpoint bullseye. I remember the first time I ever watched him play at Lakeside, and I was just really impressed with his focus, and backstage the way he would ignore everybody and just get on with the job.
Darius Labanauskas, he doesn't do massive eye-catching stuff. Like, in terms of the numbers, you're not seeing Darius posting 110 averages. You just don't see it. But what you do see is Darius Labanauskas consistently averaging in the 90s and taking his chances. And they can be high 90s. Occasionally he'll go over the ton. But just look at his game. Look how he's set up. He doesn't throw bad darts. Everything is given the same level of focus and attention. You never ever see him like just throw darts away. It's just this machine-like quality. Now, he can be blasted off the board, we know that, but he's always going to give you such a tough examination.
58.
And even in the very, very top levels of the PDC, where people can whack in silly numbers left, right and centre. And we saw that from Merv at the World Series finals, where he averaged, what was it, 117?
115.62.
There we go, thank you very much.
37.
It's not helped in there with that one flying out. But even, you know, Mervyn King could do that in this game and blast Darius off the board. But if he doesn't do that, if he's anything less than that, Darius Labanauskas is going to cause him all sorts of problems. Just look at this. Pressure.
40. Mervyn, you require 84.
Will be 14s. Gets one of them for Bull. And he takes the Bull. So the Bull's getting a bit of a pounding after the first couple of legs. And the Bond baddie, as I like to call him, Darius Labanauskas. He really is going to be ready for a tussle here.
Is that a Pierce Brosnan impression?
It was supposed to be Sean Connery, but
okay, right, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just think it's a great Bond baddie name. Ah, Darius, you're here again.
Now I can see him swiveling around in a chair, stroking a cat.
134.
Famously beat Raymond van Barneveld at the World Championship. It looked like he'd beaten him into retirement. Well, he did beat him into retirement. Then he came back. But Darius,
100.
World Championship quarter-finalist. And I may have been damning him with faint praise. I'm saying, look, he grind, you know, he's not going to throw those 110 averages. What he does do, it is good enough to win lots of games and long format games as well. It's not like he doesn't have the tools required to go on these runs. He actually really tested MVG in that quarter-final at Ali Pali.
What he did on that run as well 2 years ago, because let's remember that he's going to be defending that £50,000 next month. We all thought that Steve Beaton was going to go on a run that tournament, and it was Darius Labanauskas that beat Steve Beaton. Merciless stuff.
28.
To the dismay of the Ali Pali crowd. He doesn't care for reputation, he doesn't care for popularity. What he cares about is brand Labanauskas and Lithuania, because no matter where you look, those Lithuanian colours are. They're on a band next to his watch, they're on the darts, they're on the shirt, they're everywhere. He's so proud of being from Lithuania, and why not?
Man, look, he's flying the flag for his country. Him and Madas Razma in particular are flying the flag for the Baltic countries. You know, they were the #1 and #2 at one stage in the WDF system. Lovely dart, leaves double 18. Yeah, really nice. Again, there's no bad darts. He gives them all a chance.
I don't know why he's called lucky. He's not lucky. He's just good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no luck involved.
100.
He's a player that's very easy to underestimate, Darius Labanauskas. Because you look at him, you think he's not doing anything spectacular. Doesn't need to be spectacular if you're efficient.
Do you wonder if Merv is a little bit irked by the fact that he's been put on stage 2 as last year's runner-up? Some players do take that a little personally, don't they?
Yeah, some of them do. I'm not sure Merv is like that. You know him far better than I, to be fair. And I'm a card-carrying Merver, so I'm a massive fan, but you know him far better than I. I'm not sure he'll be that fussed about it, will he?
No, I don't think he's that fussed.
Is he playing without the earplugs tonight?
He's definitely got one in.
Oh, he has? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's definitely got one in. But I think he likes this stage, and what's more, I think he prefers the practice area, because this has got a different practice area to the main stage, and it's a bit smaller. I think he prefers it that way. It's very close to this playing arena as well. It's just around the back.
Well, you've played on this stage, right?
I have.
Yeah, I mean, do you prefer this to the main stage?
I do.
Is it just because it's got that sort of old school darts feel, that sort of Circus Tavern-y kind of vibe?
Anything that reminds me of the Circus Tavern is good, but at the same time, I just like the logistics of being close to the stage when you're practicing. With the main stage, I just don't have good memories of it. I've never won up there. And it's a bit of a schlep between the two, the practice room and the main stage. But Mervyn looking to equalise here with 77. Interesting. Very Merv way to go. But it's effective. One of the best double 16 hitters in history. Uses it for 2-2.
Yeah, just to explain that, treble 15 does leave double 16. However, if Darius isn't on a finish, then single 15 leaves 62 there, so he has to get another treble to get to a double. Had Darius been on a finish, he probably would have looked at the 19s there, because treble 19 leaves double 10, but a single 19, you've still got 58, so it's a single to a double. But he's given the option of going that slightly sort of scenic route for the 77, because Darius was not there to pounce to take advantage if he didn't get any of the trebles required. He could just set it up and come back for his favourite double 16.
I like the way you put that, a scenic route.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that for the next 12 months.
Well, ooh, he was taking the more direct route to 501 there, looking to go, and he quite fancied it by his reaction, I think.
Well, this new kit that he's been using for about a year, it was just before this event last year, where he turned to these new grippy scalloped darts, and they vaulted him to a different level, where he made the final of the Masters as well, where he lost to Johnny Clayton in what was a shootout for the Premier League.
Yeah, a shootout that was won by Clayton, who then won the Premier League and hasn't stopped winning since, pretty much. But a great leg of darts here from Mervyn King, threatening to produce the first break of throw, but Labanauskas should get himself to a great finish here. And does do. What again, the pressure from Labanauskas when he is looking dead and buried in a leg.
Oops. Treble 18. Great recovery, double 12.
69. Darius required.
But Labanauskas, like you said, Dan, the pressure that's applied, it's like trying to sleep with an anvil on your chest. Beautifully executed by the Lithuanian. Just such a good player.
5 legs in, every single one of them a hold of throw. Mervyn King is averaging almost 103. Darius is averaging more than 101 himself. And those 2 visits there from Darius, 180, 46 out in 2 to complete a 14 darter when he was really under the cosh from Mervyn. And how often do you see it? Somebody just about holds on to their throw and then goes on to break in the very next leg, because he has hit a purple patch here, Darius. 180, 46 out in 2, 180.
Well, I fancy that the winner of this game is going to take on Jose de Souza. It's not just because of the gap between the seedings of that particular fixture, but I don't see de Souza losing to Peterson at the minute. I just don't see it.
If Devon of 2020 turns up, then he's got a problem, but Devon of 2021 has been a different kind of animal. Little flashes of Devon of last year, but it's certainly nowhere near the... I mean, the scoring back, the 180s from Devon Peterson last year was as good as anybody on the planet. It's just not there at the minute for him.
But look at that throwing style of Labanauskas. I was talking about elbow height with Luke Woodhouse. There's a lot of movement backwards and forwards in a pendulum style with Labanauskas, but that elbow height is maintained the entire time. It's key to his throw. A lot of people forget that Merv, in the early part of his career, struggled with dartitis. That's why he started to twist the darts.
Yeah, Merv will tell you till he's blue in the face that back when he was a kid, he was even better than he is now. 7-7 for Labanauskas for 4-2. And that is a break of throw. Darius Labanauskas was in serious danger. When Mervyn King in the previous leg went 4 darts into the 9, he was in danger of going behind with a break of throw. And within the space of, what, 6 visits, Darius Labanauskas has turned this game on its head. 180, 46 out, followed by a 12 darter.
96.
What Darius is doing is embellishing on what you've already talked to our audience about, which is why it's so hard to beat. 35. You can't ruffle this guy. It's impossible. whether you're MVG, Gerwin Price, or one of the other legends of the game, and I include Mervyn King in that because he's been doing this for 30 years. No matter what King does here, he can't ruffle him, so he's got to beat him with pure skill. And right now, Labanauskas is better.
Well, this is in danger right now of being one of Labanauskas' best ever performances on a TV stage. I know there's a sort of asterisk next to that because you're on the second stage here, and this isn't on primetime ITV4. But you know where the real action is, dear viewer.
Well, anybody who says that means that we've got to put an asterisk next to that 9-darter of Alan Norris.
And the one for Johnny Clayton.
Correct.
Alan Norris, in fact, that's the most lucrative 9-darter we've seen in years and years and years. I think it's 35 grand he won for that. And shortly after that, you won absolute winner. You got a badge, but you don't win any money.
I think he bought himself a nice watch.
I think he did, actually, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, Darius' good mate, Madas Razma, hit a couple of 9-darters in consecutive days on the Pro Tour just a few weeks ago. He's got more badges than a Boy Scout.
99.
Got more badges than one of those Hells Angels on those leather waistcoats.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a typical Darius performance? Apologies that we seem to have lost our graphic.
Require 150.
He wants 150 here, Mervyn King. Darius not on a finish, so he's given the opportunity to go for the 18s, and what a shot from Mervyn King to break straight back and get back in this match.
Some players would have given it large there, Dan, not Merv. Just part and parcel of what he does. That was beautifully executed. All 3 darts, for me, as good as that 116 that Schindler had in the last game.
Yeah, maybe not under as much pressure, but certainly in the way they were delivered, they were excellent. It's one of the things, I've got no idea. I've watched Merv for a number of years, and I've got no idea what he's going to do visit by visit. He might go mad and start reacting. There might not even be a flicker of a reaction. He might get the hump with what his opponent is doing. He might not. He might act like they're not even there. He is a compelling watch, is Mervyn King, and has been for the entirety of his darts career, his astonishing darts career. We talk about the longevity of players like Taylor and Beaton. Mervyn King is right up there.
I still think he's the best photo bomber in darts.
Wait.
I've got a great one from the Grand Slam once where he was having dinner with me the night before the tournament started, and he photobombed me through a bottle of wine.
Wow.
It's a tremendous photo.
Well, that will be making an appearance on social media. I'm going to make sure that happens. Right, hang on. Are these numbers correct on the scoreboard here? Yes, they are. But, well, that can't be right, because they've just taken 140 off for Merv when Darius scored it. Right, Darius wants 161.
We all know that's not going to happen. But how small can he leave it? He's got 81 left, and he's left himself on double 12.
Mervyn's on 76 here. Double top. For a level game, 4 apiece. Mervyn King has dragged himself back into this, and it is the King's turn to perform under severe pressure. However, the Lithuanian #1 is still the man with the advantage, and he's looking to press that home.
Mervyn King currently ranked 20th in the world, and he's in a period of his career, Dan, where he's doing what Steve Beaton was doing for a long, long time, just hovering around between 18 and 22. Steve Beaton, coincidentally, you will see him in our final match of this afternoon's session against Gabriel Clemens. But Merv is just looking to get himself back into the top 16, and even with that final performance last year
83.
and some half-decent stuff this year, he's not been able to do that.
No, he's gone slightly sort of Simon Whitlock over the last couple of years, where he saved his best stuff for the big TV stages, which is great because that's where you can win a lot of money. But say the Masters, where he performs well, non-ranking tournament, doesn't help him in that regard. Darius Labanauskas leaves himself on 1-2-4, and his average right now is as high as we have ever seen from him in a TV tournament. His highest ever average was at the World Trophy 5 years ago. Against Glendowen, averaged 101.5. Right now, he's close to 103. That's okay.
Just with those statistics, you're actually proving what he does. He doesn't have big averages in his locker. He just has a lot of good ones.
Yeah, the highest average we've ever seen him in anything is 106, which is obviously brilliant, but it's not those 110s that we see from like Ryan Searle a few times this year, or, you know, Anderson, or even Merv the other day. But when he's good, it's that high 90s. It's that 100 average. And if you average 100 and take your chances, you can beat anybody. And right now, Darius Labanauskas is putting himself in a great position to beat Mervyn King. He can use that, but he doesn't. And this might have to go.
In some cases, with some players, they prefer to get the single here. But he's got the treble. He's got them both. Oh, that was close.
Even Merv reacted to that one. He knows how big a dart that could have been. Is he kissing goodbye to the leg?
He was kissing something there goodbye. It was the leg saying goodbye. It's now 5-4 Labanauskas, and does King have 2 straight to win this one in 11?
Oh, what a game of darts we've got here. Mervyn King averaging a ton. It's 99.5 for Darius Labanauskas. And here comes Merv.
Somebody has angered him in the crowd. Watch out. He's looking over there again. Maybe it's the same person that was angering Ian White.
Well, well, well. Is it going to inspire Merv? Well, he's got a little smirk on his face now. He seems to be enjoying himself, Merv.
Take it from me, Dan, when you're playing on this stage, you can hear pretty much everything.
Right, he's cupping his ear now. Mervyn King getting involved with the crowd.
As long as he doesn't get as bad as he was in Newcastle at the Premier League that time.
Well, that's it. I mean, it could go one of either way. Either dissipates some of that tension and allows him to play with freedom, or it genuinely will work him up. And we've seen that happen before. At the minute, it's okay.
60.
And he's in charge of this leg, but it could all change. A 180 here, and Darius is on a finish for the match. That's not going to happen.
Watch out. He just knew that Darius was going to get a 140 there. So it's game on in leg 10.
Kicked off this leg with a 180, Merv. Would love a 177 here. May go bull. The way he looked at it, it's not the worst miss in the world, but it doesn't help him.
He might not mind that, you know, because 112 leaves him an opportunity at double 16.
Yeah, 420s to leave his favourite double on the board.
It does depend on what he hits with the first dart, though, because the darts stand up. If he gets 60 first, he might go 12 tops.
Well, let's see. That looks okay for a treble. But he's just a little low, and a rueful look, because Darius Labanauskas, who once again was trailing a long, long way back. Back-to-back ton 40s, leave him 67 for the match, to beat last year's runner-up. 18 segment. Double 16. And Lithuania's #1 holds the pose and gets the job done. The runner-up last year, Mervyn King, has averaged very nearly 100 and hit 2/3 of his darts at double. But Darius Labanauskas, with one of the best displays we've ever seen from him on a TV stage, has beaten the King to go through to round 2 here in Minehead.